Let's be honest here and tell it how it is. Most recovery systems for porn addiction do not work. You know this to be true. I know this to be true. You know this to be true because you have been trying to overcome your addiction to pornography for years, yet you still find yourself listening to this podcast, watching these videos here on YouTube, and trying to understand why you haven't yet broken free. I know this to be true because I've spoken with thousands of men over the last 5 years that are stuck, that have been at this fight for years, if not decades, yet they still find themselves caught up in the relapse recovery cycle. Now, what we've done at Rebuilt Recovery is we've created a framework. We've created principles to recovery, a 12-step process that is rooted in science, behavioral change, and built on a biblical foundation that is proven through our hundreds of highly successful transformations. We've worked with thousands of men now. We have seen men's lives radically transform. So I know it works. And I know that most of the programs and systems out there do not work. That's why I planted my flag in this space 4.5 years ago. That's why I created Rebuilt Recovery. I felt a calling to step into this space. I felt a calling because I was hearing from men on a daily basis that were lost, that were hopeless. So it has been our goal since the beginning to provide you with everything you need, to give you the tools, tactics, mindset, belief systems, the framework, the community, the support, the accountability. All of this is necessary. And if you're out there right now, before I get into breaking down today's episode for you, if you're out there right now and you're lost and you're stuck and you're looking for a framework, we put together a free training on our proven approach. The #1 program in the world is giving away a backdoor access to everything that we teach inside of our program. It's the 12-step training. If you click the link down there in the show notes below or visit rebuiltrecovery.com/12 steps and get access to this training right away. But today's episode, guys, I want to talk to you about the 3 main reasons why most systems of recovery do not work. I'm talking about 12 steps. I'm talking about men's groups. I'm talking about other organizations out there. Not calling any of them out individually, but this is what I've seen. This is what I've witnessed. And this is what the market is telling me is falling short. So these 3 things, these 3 mistakes that all of these things are missing and or making is keeping you stuck. If you're trying these approaches or you've tried them in the past, some of this is going to resonate with you. So the 3 things that makes all recovery systems incomplete. The first one is they are rooted in old, outdated science. 12 steps in particular. I love AA. I love Bill W. I love 12 steps for all the good that they've done in the world. But let's call it like it is, guys. That 12-step approach was founded and created over 100 years ago. The organization is well over 100 years old. Our understanding of science, our understanding of human psychology, our understanding of human behavior and behavioral change is updating itself daily. So if we're using a system that is 100 years old, but we're trying to solve a problem that was only created 20 years ago with the advent of the internet, can you see how those 2 things aren't going to be synergistic? We've done full podcasts on the Superman Life about the education system, how it's old and outdated. Well, if we're trying to break an addiction that is a byproduct of today's world, we're talking about internet streaming pornography, a drug that was only introduced into the world maybe 25 years ago. The high streaming capacity of it is less than 2 decades old, though. So this is a modern day problem that we're trying to use an old world solution to. And that's why when I say it's built upon old and outdated science, I can prove that to you. So that's the first thing that most of these systems are missing, is they're not using the most up-to-date science research and tactics that we understand about identity transformation, behavioral change, neuroplasticity, the connection between the gut brain access. How the health of our gut dictates our brain's ability to produce healthy neurotransmitters. All of this is important, and all of that should be taken into account in your recovery program. So number one is they're using outdated information. Number two is they are incomplete in their approach. I told you guys about the beginning, 12 steps. Visit rebuiltrecovery.com/12 steps to give you the blueprint for our growth-centric holistic framework. We're the only company in the world that takes a fully integrated holistic approach based on growth-centric principles to help men take control of their pornography addiction. I can make that claim confidently. We're the only one in the world. But what does that mean? That means we look at the man's mental health, his emotional health, his physical health, his spiritual health. We're going to understand the role that our nutrition and supplementation plays in it. We're going to understand our brain's ability to change through experience, neuroplasticity, and how this will impact our behavior. We understand community, support, accountability, so it's integrated into our approach. Discipline and willpower, walking in integrity, built upon a biblical foundation. I challenge you to find another program out there that challenges and lives up to the standard that Rebuilt Recovery has created. We're the world's only fully integrated, holistic approach based on growth-centric principles. So if you're using something outside of what we've created, it's missing a piece. It's missing a piece. I don't know what piece specifically your approach is missing, but chances are it is missing something that is truly fundamental in your pursuit to freedom and the success that you either will or will not achieve. So we talked about it's outdated information in science. It's incomplete in its approach. And here's the third one. And the third one drives me nuts. Okay? Because I see it keeping more men stuck than anything else. Most of these programs out there keep men in a victim mentality. Why would I, if I'm struggling with a behavior every single day, want to raise my hand and call myself an addict? Whether it's drinking, drugs, pornography, sex, gambling. If every day I wake up and I start my day with identifying as a person that is an addict and it is powerless to this thing that is outside of themselves, I'm handing over my power. I'm handing over my keys to freedom to that thing. That thing is too great for me to transcend. It's a victim mentality. And if you are seeing yourself as somebody that can never truly break free from this thing, you may walk in a little bit of sobriety for a short time. You may have a short bit of success in staying away from porn, but you will never experience what real lasting freedom is, because you're always worried about turning that corner and seeing that thing. You're always worried about what happens if I put myself into this situation. You're always worried about, well, what happens if I'm not fully aware? Now, do we need boundaries early on? 100%. Do we need to stop doing certain things? 100%. Do we need to stop going certain places? 100%. For a short window of time, but you create this new identity of this new man, this rebuilt man. You step into that identity. Now you're walking in freedom, and the things from the past no longer hold power over you like they once did. So gentlemen, if you are using something that is outdated and incomplete and keeping you in a victim mentality, that is the reason why you are stuck. That is the reason why you will continue to be stuck. And if you are not taking a fully integrated, holistic approach based on growth-centric principles, you're missing a piece of the puzzle. And if you want to know what that looks like and what a framework to real freedom is, rebuiltrecovery.com/12 steps. Click the link down there in the show notes below. But Coach Frank at The Rebuilt Man, we love you guys. We'll see you in the next one.